Will Nikita Mazepin ever return to F1? This is an interesting question to me, and to many people this probably has a really obvious answer. But I think there's more to it than just, no, he won't, as look at his performances from last year. Because his dad's a billionaire, and F1 is now, more than ever, focusing on trying to turn the sport into a money-orientated thing, as they're showing by trying to bring as many new fans in as possible. In this video, I won't be talking about anything relating to the war in Ukraine. However, because this could be considered a sensitive topic, I will be turning comments off, and in the description, we will have a link if you want to donate to Ukraine. So, Nikita Mazepin was removed from his F1 seat at Haas due to the fact his father's sponsorship was revoked and Russian and Belarusian drivers won't be allowed to drive in races such as Silverstone. It could also probably relate to how poor his driving was last year. So, he had very poor performance last year, beaten by his teammate in almost all of the races, being called unsportsmanlike. Nearly every single driver on the grid has at one point got extremely angry at him. But I still think it's possible that a return for F1 may be on the cards. This is because obviously his father won't be sanctioned forever, and it may be possible that eventually he could be able to buy his way back into another F1 team. It could be Haas again, however I feel it's unlikely, given the path they've already gone to, but I see an option such as Alfa Romeo or Williams, which does need the funding, to be another option that could really be plausible for Nikita Mazepin. Now, I'm not saying I think this is likely, but I'm just saying that if Nikita decides he does want to return to F1, and his father Dmitry wants him to as well, and he's willing to pay, then these are the plausible outcomes that I think will happen. So, if I think he goes to Alfa Romeo, do I think he would perform well? In short, no I don't. I think it will be more of the same. However, it was possible if he had another year and got used to the car and it handled better than last year's did, then maybe it's possible that he would have performed a lot better. So, do I think that is a plausible outcome for him to come back to Formula 1? To be honest, no I don't. But I do see one way that Nikita Mazepin could return to F1. Michael Andretti has plans to join the F1 grid for 2024. Now, as an American person, it is extremely unlikely that he wants to invest all of his money into an F1 team, given that what has happened to Haas, and I'm assuming he would have learnt for that. So putting money into a team when you could go into other racing networks which you're more familiar with would be a lot better, racing categories I mean. But I do think that if he wanted to, then gaining a sponsor from something such as Uralkali would be possible for them to go to this new team which Andretti would own. I think I can see Dmitry Mazepin putting a big sponsor on it and getting Nikita Mazepin to come into this new team. Also, given that it being 2024, it will give the time for the situation in Ukraine to calm down and sanctions on Russia to be relieved, which would give the perfect opportunity for Nikita Mazepin to return to F1. In conclusion though, despite having spoken about different ways he could return to F1, I do now believe that his time in F1 is over and that Andretti will choose to go for a pair of American drivers to represent his team. And to be honest, I can't really say that I will miss Nikita Mazepin and his spins, despite the fact that during last season I did enjoy his slight rivalry with his teammate. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Once again, I will remind you that in the description there is a link if you want to donate to Ukraine and help those refugees who urgently need help at this moment. Once again, thank you so much, and goodbye.